Fresh from the feasting and celebration of their latest victory, the Ghoul Kings' forces now rest in their great oceanside fortress, though the grandeur is perhaps lost on the sane. Few sober souls would ever dare cross paths with these delusional cannibals, and after feasting, they are especially invigorated. Yet still, their hunger knows no bounds. However, Archaon the Everchosen holds no fear like a mortal might, and accompanied by his own Demons of Khorne, they prepare to wet their blades with noble blood. His eye set on claiming this land, Archaon cannot be swayed from his quest across the Tenerife Sea, and this will be the perfect staging ground. In a battle of gnashing teeth, as blades hack bone, only time will tell which force will survive to exalt in the blood of their enemy.
Hello and welcome to Season of War. Tonight, me and Ridge are playing a probably very bloody game of Age of Sigmar with a couple armies that are going to be looking to smash each other up real good.
Yeah, Khorne loves it.
Yeah, as does Flesh Eaters. But just before we jump into things, the mission we're playing today is Survival of the Fittest. So there's 3 objectives here on the board. Normal, hold 1, hold 2, hold more. 1 burns in round 3,
Yep.
2 points for battle tactics, 3 for grand strategy.
Yep.
The difference with this mission is we each had to choose 3 predators, and if our predators slay our opponent's predators, we get a bonus point for it.
Yep.
But why don't we just jump right into the list? Ridge, do you want to take us through your Khorne list first?
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm playing a Reapers of Vengeance list around Archaon, which is you see competitively definitely with Khorne. So it is Archaon. The general is the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. He has the artifact as well, Amulet of Destiny, everyone's favorite. And then I have a Blood Secrator and a Blood Stoker. And then for battle line, I have 2 units of 5 dogs or fleshhounds, and then a unit of Blood Reavers. And then I have 20 Marauders and a War Shrine.
So a little extra Slaves to Darkness influence.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a lot of mortals. I always love playing, even with Nurgle too, I love the mortals. The demons in Khorne aren't really too competitive, but Marauders is just always good. So.
And Archaon is always competitive.
Yes, and Reapers of Vengeance allows the second pile in, and there's some other tricks. The Bloodstoker is just so good. +3 to run and charge and reroll wounds. Good for these two. Just so many little tricks with Khorne, and it is definitely still an army that. I'm maybe not the best general, but I've played against some people that are really good with Khorne, and it's one of those armies that if you play a lot, like you can do a lot of damage and do some really cheeky
and
stuff.
They do have some neat tricks in there with the Blood Tithe.
Yeah.
And like you said, these aren't our primary armies, but we do want to get more experience, more practice with them. Not only to learn them for the channel, but it's also great practice for understanding how an army works and playing against it.
Big time.
But then on my side, I'm running Flesh Eater Courts, Gristledore here today, which makes my 2 lovely Terror Dice battle line. Third battle line being a big block of 30 ghouls.
Yeah.
But then otherwise, I just have the Ghoul King on Terror Dice, an Archregent, and a Foot Ghoul King, and then 2 of the little Ghoul Heroes just to try and keep that unit topped up, which I will also hopefully be doing with the Chalice of Ushan.
Yeah. Khorne hates any talk of magic, so hopefully not.
Yeah, so a few interesting things going on in this game. Obviously, 2 armies that want to just smash each other. We both have double pile-ins. We both, I guess besides Archaon, don't have the best armor saves. But then I was a ton of drops here, so you did outdrop me. But just to go over Predators, my 3 Predators in the game are actually my Pact of Ghouls, my Ghoul King on Terror Dice, and then just one of my normal Terror Dice.
Cool.
And my grand strategy for this one was hold the line. I could have done that, or the monster one to keep all my monsters alive, or keep a monster alive, but it's still 3 options there. There's a ton of wounds here, and hopefully I can keep replenishing them.
Yeah. And then for me, so my Predators are Archaon, the Bloodthirster, and then I wasn't really sure with the third one. I think the Marauders would probably die, so I'd go with the War Shrine. And then for my list, funny enough, I'm just going to take Prize Sorcery. Khorne hates magic a lot, but it's Prize Sorcery or the monster one, doesn't matter. It's just if Archaon survives, essentially, is going to be my grand strategy.
Makes sense. But just before we start, I did have Alpha Beast Pack as one of my 2 battalions in here. So these 2 guys are going to get a D6-inch pre-game movement. Cool, so I just did my 2 pre-game movements with these guys. Here, I thankfully rolled the 4, which let me put him on the objective outside of the Bloodthirster's threat range. This guy only rolled a 1, so I just kind of moved him laterally a little bit to be like a 1/3 of an inch further away from Archaon. But with all that aside, Ridge, you will have choice of who goes first here and how fast we get into the action.
Yep, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
We did a quick measurement. It's like, I can definitely give you turn, and then, you know, you could double pile and kill, get into him, but just kind of keeping me in my zone. And I have a chance that Archaon can definitely get in there.
Too bloodthirsty with Khorne.
Yeah, juice him up and just kill one dragon right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, with that, we will then be jumping into Khorne turn 1.
The Blades of Khorne battle tactic is aggressive expansion. Archaon fails heroic leadership, though the Archregent succeeds. Archaon receives an extra command point for Warlord without equal. The War Shrine prays for the favor of Nurgle on Archaon. Archaon casts Mystic Shield on himself. Archaon casts Arcane Bolt. Archaon activates the Eye of Sheeran. The Bloodstoker uses Whipped to Fury on Archaon. Archaon uses Forward to Victory and makes his charge. Archaon and the Terrorgeist both use Titanic Duel. Archaon uses Leave None Alive and kills the Terrorgeist. The Terrorgeist uses Call to War, but deals no damage. Khorne holds all 3 objectives, kills a monster, and completes their battle tactic to score 6 points.
Okay, cool. Archaon does what Archaon does. Luckily, I got the Mystic Shield off, so I rolled a 10, and then I have to re-roll because I'm Khorne, and that's what the Bloodscrater does.
Yep.
So re-rolled, and I rolled it, and it went off. So yeah, and I got an Arcane Bolt on him as well. And then the prayer's just so good. So and then the other one, +1 save and re-roll wounds.
Yeah.
So notably for his Slayer Kings, really good, but even just in general. Khorne Demons reroll 1s to hit, and then you reroll wounds.
So it's super reliable.
Classic, like, yeah man, it's just so good. And then pretty much everything else is just kind of positioning to stay on points. I just did the hold 2 objectives. Yeah, ran away my Bloodthirster because he's scared, and I don't know, we'll see.
Killed the Terrorgeist.
Killed the Terrorgeist, exactly, yeah.
So I did attack it at the end with Gristledor.
Yep.
When it died, but it did no damage. So.
No, it was +2 to save, and I did activate the Eye of Ed Sheeran, or whatever it's called, so now the -1 to hit. In case you get the double back, then I'm still going to be -1 to hit for both. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Successful first strike with Khorne?
Yeah, successful first strike playing Khorne. I forgot to say too, big shout out to my buddy Jeremy, who he has a lot of these models that I've used, and he didn't really love playing Khorne back in the day because he didn't use Archaon.
Yeah.
So Jer, just use Archaon, and that's the key to it.
Cool. Yeah, so with that, we'll just be jumping into Flesh Eater Torts turn 1.
Sounds good.
The Flesh Eater battle tactic is Conquer. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist uses Heroic Leadership, and the Bloodthirster uses Heroic Willpower. The Archregent fails to cast the Chalice of Usharan. The Archregent casts Ferocious Hunger, giving 2 extra attacks to the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. The Ghoul King casts Black Hunger, but is unbound. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist casts Unholy Vitality. At the end of the movement phase, the Flesh Eaters summon a Vargulf, 10 ghouls, and a unit of Crypt Flayers. The Terrorgeist Death Shriek does no damage. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist Death Shriek deals 2 mortal wounds to the Blood Reavers. The Crypt Flayers use Death Scream and kills 1 Marauder. The Flayers use Forward to Victory and make their charge. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist fails to stomp. Archaon unleashes his Arcane Bolt and deals 1 mortal wound to the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. The War Shrine uses all-out defense. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist deals 7 wounds to the Flesh Hounds and 11 wounds to the War Shrine. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist uses Feeding Frenzy to pile in and fight again, killing the War Shrine and the Flesh Hounds. Archaon uses By My Will on the Marauders thanks to All-Seeing Dominion. The Chaos Marauders kill the unit of Crypt Flayers. The ghouls use all-out attack and kill the Blood Reavers. The Flesh Hounds deal 3 wounds to the Terrorgeist. The Vargulf does no damage to the Blood Secretor. The Blood Secretor deals 2 damage to the Vargulf. The Terrorgeist deals 2 damage to the Flesh Hounds. 1 Chaos Marauder runs from Battle Shock. What an absolute disgrace to Khorne. The Flesh Eaters hold 2 objectives, achieve their battle tactic, and kill a Predator with a Predator to score 6 points.
All right, Flesh Eaters Court strike back. Turn 1. A lot of game here for round 1. A lot of combats, a lot of stuff dead. I knew I couldn't deal with Archaon, so I pretty much tried to take everything else. And yeah, I did a pretty good job of it. Really close actually with my Dual King on Terrorgeist. He's on +3 attacks. He was like with his first activation, he left the shrine on 1 wound remaining. You made like 5.
I made 4 6s on the 12 that went through.
But he also left the dogs on 3 wounds. Kind of whiffed on his attacks against them. But if I had have killed both of those, could have then piled into the Bloodthirster with 6 jaw attacks. Would have been pretty nasty.
That is scary. +3 attacks on the jaws with rerolling hits is like...
Yeah, or rerolling failed hits at least. But otherwise, I did some summons here. Charged in with the Vargulf and 3 Flayers who are now gone.
Yeah.
Summoned 10 ghouls over there. They obviously, the Flayers died because you activated here first. Wasn't really expecting much for them, but just trying to overload you with threats. Where I'm just throwing so many things at you. You can only pick 1, and I did 2 activations, all that stuff, right? So, in the end though, the ghouls hold this objective, which was my battle tactic of Conquer. I hold 1, hold 2, hold more. I could have put a guy here to claim this one, but I don't get any more points for it because I already hold 2 and more.
Yep, so it doesn't make a difference.
And this guy literally did 2 wounds to the 5 flesh hounds. So
showing what without the reroll failed hits and the extra attacks. That's 4 force to hit. Obviously, didn't just
they're
whiff.
They're pretty. Swingy for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not in a bad position. I would love, obviously, to get priority here, and be able to kill everything but Archaon would basically be the goal.
Which
right?
is that's the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, because I just can't deal with him right now.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. And I guess other than that, I did my summons. I have 2 heroes sitting back here. Yeah, you try to have a plethora of options.
Yeah.
Next turn, but let's roll that priority.
Yep.
It's a 3.
That's a 4.
All right, and I'm sure you're not going to give me the turn.
You guessed correctly, my friend.
Okay, so we will jump into Blades of Khorne, turn 2.
Let's go.
The Khorne battle tactic is Conquer. Archaon and the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist both use their finest hour. Archaon uses Filth Spewer, dealing 2 wounds to the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. Archaon casts Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. The Bloodstoker uses Whipped to Fury on the Bloodthirster. The Crypt Ghast Courtier uses Redeploy. Khorne uses their Blood Tithe to summon 10 Bloodletters. Archaon stomps on the Crypt Ghast Courtier, dealing 3 wounds. The Bloodthirster roars at the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist roars at Archaon. The Bloodthirster uses Leave None Alive and kills the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, as well as the Crypt Ghast Courtier. The ghouls deal 9 wounds to the Marauders. The ghouls use all-out defense. The Marauders use all-out attack, dealing 5 wounds to the ghouls. The Vargulf does no damage, and the Bloodsecrator deals 2 wounds to the Vargulf. Khorne controls 1 objective, kills a monster, and kills a predator with a predator, but fails their battle tactic, scoring 3 points.
Okay, so back from Khorne turn 2. Lots of things going on with the activations. I'm not used to like moving around big monsters, Archaon, Bloodthirsters, that type of thing. So Jordan's really good with positioning his little ghouls. I think you've played Archaon in so many big pie
a couple times now.
So many big pie plate heroes that he's very cheekily, put all of his little heroes in there. So it was hard to complete a charge and be able to still pile in Archaon and then get into the ghouls.
You wanted to hit the ghouls there.
Yeah, so it was a little difficult. And then moving him into this side as well. I was thinking. And then just making a big charge, but I kind of blocked myself with the Marauders a little bit as well.
And even with the Ghoul King and Vargulf there, you couldn't land
inside. Yeah. So there was a little bit of space kind of denial. At the end of the day, it came down to monstrous actions were actually very, very huge.
Yeah, very big.
So I started with stomping the little hero And then I roared with my Bloodthirster so that your Ghoul King on Terrorgeist couldn't use command points.
That meant he couldn't fight when he dies, which is huge because
yeah.
there was like a decent chance that he could have like taken out the Bloodthirster when he died, just obviously with 6 maw attacks.
Yes, rolling those 6s, re-rolling. So
anything's possible.
For sure. And then you did it on Archaon as well, which in my head I was like, not thinking of the Reapers of Vengeance command ability, but then when I said it, you're like, no, you're like, I roared you, and I was like, oh yeah, shit. Yeah. So Archaon couldn't pile in twice.
Yeah.
So then I went first with the Bloodthirster, because he is rerolling 1s to hit because he's a Khorne demon, or that he on the charge, both of those. And then he's rerolling wounds from the whip, the Bloodstoker. So I rolled 3 6s on the wounds. Essentially, I put 4 through, rolled 3 6s. So it was on his first activation, it was 12 mortal wounds.
Yeah, and killed the little hero.
Yes.
And obviously killed the Ghoul King.
Yeah.
Which is the big story.
Yeah, so, and then, it's turn 2, so it's like at this, taking out that big piece is obviously huge. Not getting my battle tactic sucks, but in the end of the whole scheme of things, it's like, it's not the worst kind of thing that could have happened.
When we were talking, we're like, a lot of it, well, we were talking about just that priority would have, I think, probably been my best shot at the game. Mm-hmm. Just because I would have, like, I took out a couple pieces turn 1, took out a couple more turn 2, and I can't deal with Archaon, but he can't be everywhere, as we know.
No, and that's why I obviously put him down the middle, and I've played against him so much that it's like, you want to keep him central in the board, clearly. But I think, like we said before, if you would have won that prio, and you definitely could have killed boom, 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 almost everything, and just left Archaon, and then, he can't be everywhere. And that is the way to deal with him, as everyone knows. But
so, I think with that, we can just jump into Flesh Eater Court's turn 2.
Sounds good.
The Flesh Eater battle tactic is Broken Ranks, targeting the Flesh Hounds. The Vargolf uses Heroic Recovery, healing 1 wound, and Archaon uses Heroic Leadership. The Crypt Gas Courtier uses Muster Serfs and returns 6 ghouls. The Archregent fails to cast Ferocious Hunger. The Archregent casts Arcane Bolt. The Ghoul King casts Black Hunger on himself. The Bloodletters use Redeploy, moving 6 inches. The Terrorgeist stomps on the Flesh Hounds, dealing 1 mortal wound. The Archregent unleashes his Arcane Bolt, dealing 3 mortal wounds to the Flesh Hounds. The Archregent attacks and does 1 wound to the Flesh Hounds. The Ghouls use All Out Defense, and Archaon uses By My Will on the Marauders. The Marauders deal 4 wounds to the Ghouls. The Bloodletters use All-Out Defense. The Terrorgeist attacks twice using Feeding Frenzy, killing the Flesh Hounds and 6 Bloodletters. What? He didn't have any command points. Talk about delusional. Get it? The Bloodletters deal 2 wounds to the Terrorgeist. The Ghouls finish off the Marauders, who attack as they die and deals 3 wounds back to the Ghouls. 1 Bloodletter runs from Battle Shock. The Flesh Eaters control 2 objectives and achieve their battle tactic with a monster to score 6 points.
All right, so Flesh Eater Courts turn 3, just trying to make the most of it, and yeah, I did everything I kind of wanted to here. You made a cheeky redeploy actually, and rolled the 6 to get a couple bloodletters on there, but I wasn't too worried because as long as I killed the dog unit, which was my battle tactic, I did it with the monster, I would have held the objective anyways over you.
Which was super, super close. Even that came down.
But well, only because I split my attacks.
Yeah.
And I only split my attacks because I did get the Archregent charge into them as well. So I hit his attacks, I had his Arcane Bolt, I had the Stomp. So I kind of chipped them down to a place where I felt comfortable with doing the double activation. I could put all the claws into the dogs just to finish them off. But yes, I did actually barely do it.
Hit on 4s.
With a little bit of a... Yeah, exactly. You roll 3 3s or, easy to... It's not a consistent profile, so...
Yep.
But it let me put all the bites, though I only got 1 6 and no other hits through. But I did 6 mortal wounds, obviously, to the demonettes. Or not demonettes, but...
Bloodletters,
Yep.
Still, just making sure to get your battle tactic, making sure... With a monster, too, notable.
So I got 3 points, for the battle tactic because of that.
Yep.
And I hold 1, I hold 2, and then more. So I store 6 points again this turn.
Which is pretty big. And
putting me up 12 to 9, so it's a slight advantage, but...
Immediately after my turn, that's what I know we chatted immediately, and I was like, yes, last turn I 100% should have done. Bring it down, kill the general, like any of those, and making the play of trying to take yours.
You would have got another 2, if not like the 3rd point for doing it a monster for sure.
Exactly.
So there's like...
Both of those were monsters, just, just... One of those mistakes where you make sure the battle tactic you choose, again, is one that you are quite certain you're going to be able to get.
But you still have been scoring well. Like that was obviously a couple missed points, but let's jump into priority.
Yeah, having these 2 big boys on the point, and also turn 3, this is going to be big because burning 1 is actually going to matter quite big here. That's a 6.
Okay. So
I'm gonna take the turn here. Literally, the biggest thing was just these 10 ghouls. If they hadn't been here and been able to threaten that middle point, I would have been way more comfortable giving it away and then burning a far one. So I'm gonna go.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna burn this one over here.
Yep.
And we will go into Blades of Khorne, turn 3.
Sounds good.
The Khorne battle tactic is Bring It Down on the Royal Terrorgeist. The Bloodthirster uses their finest hour, and the Archregent successfully uses heroic leadership. Archaon fails Filth Spewer. Archaon casts Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. The Bloodstoker uses Whipped to Fury on the Bloodthirster. The Terrorgeist uses Redeploy, moving 6 inches. At the end of the movement phase, 10 Bloodletters are summoned using their Blood Tithe. The Bloodthirster fails its charge, then uses Forward to Victory, only making it to the ghouls. Archaon stomps the Crypt Gas Courtier, dealing 2 wounds. The Bloodthirster fails to roar at the ghouls. Archaon unleashes the Arcane Bolt on the Crypt Gas Courtier, dealing 1 more wound. The Bloodthirster uses Leave None Alive. With 2 rounds of attacks, the Bloodthirster takes down 10 ghouls. The ghouls deal 5 wounds to Archaon. The ghouls use Olive Defense, and Archaon does 15 wounds to them. The ghouls use Inspiring Presence. Khorne controls one objective, but fails their battle tactic and scores only 1 point.
Okay, so pretty much one big moral of the turn here. I was in between moving Archaon over here or moving the Bloodthirster over here. Now I was able to whip him to give him +3 to charge, so his ended up being, it would have been a 5 rerollable, and his would have been a 6 rerollable. There was only thing I could have possibly done, I guess, stay outside of the range of redeploy.
Well,
but
if you hadn't have retreated them out of combat, I couldn't have done it.
Yes, and for some reason in my brain, I obviously just quickly.
Well, they were in the way, so they were extending the length of your charge.
Yes, and especially from the Bloodthirster, which is who I wanted to get over here because he had the easier one. And even the 6 rerollable, I was just thinking, like, I don't want to rely on a 6 rerollable because I could easily roll 4 into a 5 or a 5 into a 2 or 3, or you know what I mean. So yeah. I did that, and then Jordan rolled his redeploy, and you rolled a 6, as I did earlier in the game as well. Not nearly as meaningful as it was here, but just showing you the power of that redeploy is massive. So it ended up being an 8-inch charge for him.
Because he had +3.
Because he had +3, and I rolled a 5, and then I rolled a 7. So it was an 8, and then so I ended up having a 10-inch charge, needing an 11. So I was able to go into here, so I was still possibly able to clean out these ghouls and then be with an 8 and do 4 mortal wounds for each wounding hit of 6.
On your second activation, you could have also piled back into him.
Yes, and then second activation pile into him, but I had 3 3s on my first hit, and because I did the Reapers of Vengeance command ability, I couldn't give him +1 to hit. All of those would have went through had I been able to do all-out attack. So a lot of small things that kind of came up, but that's what AOS 3 is so much about, the little things like this that, So I'm going to fail my battle tactic to bring him down, and I'm not going to score this point. But so I'm going to fail, so I'm just going to hold the middle here. And again, just one of those things with rolls and a 6 redeploy and like a lot of things that can happen, and just didn't work out. So I don't know what else to say. There's a lot of things that could have went in a lot of ways too, but.
But so in the end, you do score 1 point just from holding this one. There's only the 2 objectives, so no hold 2 or hold more right now. But we will be jumping into Flesh Eater Courts, turn 3.
Come on.
The Flesh Eater battle tactic is Bring It Down on the Bloodthirster. The Archregent uses Heroic Leadership, and Archaon uses Heroic Recovery, healing 2 wounds. The Crypt Gas Courtier uses Muster Serfs and returns 6 ghouls. The Archregent fails to cast Ferocious Hunger. The Archregent also fails to cast Arcane Bolt. The Ghoul King casts Black Hunger on himself. The Terrorgeist and the Bloodthirster both use Titanic Duel. The Bloodthirster uses All-Out Defense. The Terrorgeist attacks twice using Feeding Frenzy, dealing 11 wounds to the Bloodthirster, who survives with 3 remaining. The Bloodthirster kills the Royal Terrorgeist, who deals 1 mortal wound back when it dies. The Flesh Eaters control no objectives and fail their battle tactic, scoring no points, but Khorne scores 1 point for killing a monster. Sucks to suck.
Alright, so Flesh Eaters turn 3 was not what we needed here today. Really, I went for battle tactic again, just trying to store, set up for a double turn, scraping the bottom of the barrel for the past couple turns. I needed to get bring it down there. Wanted to do it with a monster. get a bonus point for killing a monster. It would put me 4 for the battle tactic.
Predator too, you would have
and
got.
hold 1, and a predator killing a predator would have been 6 points this turn.
Yeah.
Compared to I was ahead 3 at the start of the round. You only scored 1, so I would have been ahead.
You've been up a bunch.
8 points.
Yeah.
Would have made the game really interesting actually, because then another priority would have let me take the objective, hold 1, hold 2, hold more, battle tactic.
Yeah, you would have been up a
be
lot.
up 13 points
Yeah.
with your turn to answer and Archaon on this side of the board.
Yeah.
That was the hope.
Yeah.
As we saw, just nothing really happened. Wanted the D3 spell off just to make that, a good chance of killing the Bloodthirster.
Yeah. Failed it on a 4.
Yeah. The notable thing is he does have the Amulet of Destiny, which is the only thing that saved you.
Yep.
Because he's ended the turn with 2 wounds left, 3 after my attacks.
Yep.
So if not for the amulet, he would have gone down.
He would have been dead, yeah.
But
sure.
I think just 1 or 2, like a 1 on that D3, if I get the spell off or something, would have been the difference.
Yeah.
Or could have been the difference.
Well, in 2 activations of you rolling 6s to hit, you know what I mean? You rolled 1 of all of the 6 smalls.
Yeah.
Which is average, but even if you get 1 more, that's
exactly.
6 mortal wounds, he's dead.
Yeah. But that's how it goes sometimes. The fates were not with us here today. And because he's dead, I don't even store this objective because you have 3 bodies there.
Yep.
I store no points this round. And Ridge, you're only down 2. And
I have everything on the board.
There's
still.
nothing.
No.
Yeah. At this point, even if I win priority, I'm probably not taking this objective.
Yep.
So it's too little, too late at this point.
Yeah.
Needed to get that battle tactic. Needed to keep my terror dice alive. Kill you here. Keep the battle over here and keep storing over there.
Because I had so many models, attacking models that can do damage, left. Yeah. I think even if you tried to set up for a double there and just get a battle tactic and just try to stay out, you need to get more of a lead because in turn 4 and turn 5, I'm going to be able to definitely score.
I think where we were, if that had gone off that play,
it would have been.
And I won priority, it would have been, I think, real tough for you to come back in scoring because of just the objectives, and this one's burned. So.
And me making the mistake early, not bring it down or kill the general.
Oh, you could have.
But that's what I mean. If it came to a really close game, those little mistakes are the ones that that really
for sure.
make you think about it. And
definitely.
That's why getting reps and playing is you don't make those little mistakes. And a lot of crazy redeploys and a lot of
with combat armies, you see that it's super impactful, right?
Yeah.
Now we're both pretty fast actually. We're both very fast.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know if I'd run bear terror dice again. Mm-hmm. They just didn't feel like they were doing anything.
Yeah.
It's obviously more expensive to run heroes. Have to change the list overall.
Yeah.
But I had a bunch of heroes I probably could have dropped.
Yeah. It's not like you play it all the time. You haven't,
Yeah. This is my starting point with Flesh Eaters in AOS 3. So kind of just needed to get a list on the table, play it, see what I like, what I don't like, and start kind of changing and tweaking from there.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun. I really, really like Khorne.
It's the big monsters are always a blast.
Yeah.
Like we've done it in now Khorne, Legion of the First Prince, Tzeentch.
That was fun too.
You run those big guys and they're always fun.
Yeah, I honestly prefer that. I think this is more fun than First Prince is fun as well, but it's a completely different style of control and you know what I mean. Not just throwing stuff up and killing stuff, and I love the ability to think you can pilot in the start of the hero phase and attack, and Khorne has a lot of just cool mechanics that are fun for sure, but again, you might Iron Drakes or Seraphon or some shooting armies, you might not have as much fun with it, but I don't know. I'm definitely gonna play him again.
Khorne's a cool army. It's exciting for us to be getting this army ready and on the channel.
Yeah.
Bit of an amalgamation of different models in that, but we're working on obviously unifying it, getting more stuff ready for the army. So
we have
only
a ton as well.
Yeah.
So we got a lot. Yeah. We got a lot of.
We got another 2-3 Bloodthirsters that need to be painted.
Yeah, and 60 Blood Reavers, just chaff stuff. And
just tons. So lots more coming. But it was really exciting seeing Khorne on the table, getting them on here today. Obviously with Archaon, makes getting the army ready and for the table a lot easier. And Obviously a beat stick in this army still, and
still just so good. And
didn't really shine today, but
No.
I think I think I did a pretty good job of trying to minimize his output.
You did big time, because I just really juiced him up, gave him the -1 to hit, gave him +2 save, and just threw him down the board, killed the Terrorgeist.
And maybe that Terrorgeist in front, I could have deployed better, but I have no screens in this army, so it's like I can't not put something there. Maybe I do, and I just sit further back, but as soon as I put my shrine there, I kind of my heroes are danger close, so I had to put something in front of them.
I think that's a good play though, because it came down to me choosing as well. Like if I would have gave you first and doubled you back, that could have been over. You know what I mean? It could have been a completely different game.
Yep.
If you would have won turn through priority, could have been. You know what I mean? There's obviously so many different.
I think we still had plays going into the bottom of 3, but here didn't quite make the big play that I needed.
Yeah.
And so that. Obviously, the smack back from him finished the game.
Yeah, this guy, man, that just 6s to wound, doing all the ranged mortals is.
He's been fun. He's shined in a couple of games now. On the channel, so exciting. They're swingy, but when they pop off, they can be a lot of fun. But with that, I think we can wrap up the game here. It was a fun and bloody one. Everybody wanted to see a fight in the middle between these two big combat armies. It was our premium members who chose this matchup, actually. So. If you're not a premium member, please consider hitting the join button below the video to join our premium membership. You get instant access to all our backlog of premium exclusive videos, which we do 1 a week. So we've been doing this for like a couple months now. So there's a pretty big backlog.
Quite a few videos.
Extra battle reports you'll get instant access to.
Yeah.
And really, if you want to support the channel, that's the best way. It really helps us trying to build towards a sustainable future of being able to do this long term.
Yep.
Which obviously we really want to do because we're having fun.
Yes.
And hope you guys are enjoying it as well. But that's it. Like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and we'll see you soon in another battle report.
Have a good week, guys.